Welcome to The Explainer.
Today, we're diving straight into a single, incredibly striking promotional image for the 2021 Toyota Land Cruiser. We're going to break down the marketing psychology and the visual language here to see exactly how just one frame manages to communicate this massive story about legacy, capability, and modern luxury.
So, what does it actually take for a vehicle to declare itself an unstoppable legend? Keep that question in the back of your mind. It perfectly sets the mood for the bold claims made in the artwork we're unpacking today. A title like legend isn't exactly tossed around lightly in the automotive world. So how does a single image prove that claim before you even turn the key?
Okay, let's get our bearings with the complete artwork. Take a really good look at this Land Cruiser in its intended habitat. I mean, there is a whole lot going on here. From the aggressive typography demanding your attention to the hyper-cinematic lighting, right down to the literal dirt beneath the tires, every single pixel is carefully calculated.
Section 1. The 2021 Toyota Land Cruiser. First impressions of a powerhouse.
Notice the massive distressed yellow typography dominating this space. It just screams 2021 Toyota Land Cruiser. And look at the texture on it. It's not clean, it's not smooth, it's gritty, kind of like painted metal that just survived a brutal sandstorm. That instantly sets a rugged, battle-tested tone before your eyes even make it down to the car itself.
Now this is where it gets really interesting. Contrast that gritty, distressed text with the pristine details of the vehicle. Just look at that glossy, almost flawless black finish. You've got the imposing front grille, the sleek modern headlights, those dark, rugged rims. It's this fascinating, almost funny juxtaposition, right? You have a perfectly clean, luxurious Land Cruiser parked smack in the middle of a dusty wasteland. Honestly, you kind of have to wonder if they give it a car wash right there on the rocks.
Section 2. A legend that never stops. Unpacking the boldest claim. The marketing team anchors their whole message with a sharp red banner reading, "Legend never stops." Now that is a massive claim about the Land Cruiser's historical momentum. They aren't just trying to sell you a 2021 model, they are actively invoking decades of this global reputation for extreme reliability and tacking on "never stops." That implies a totally unbroken line of off-road dominance.
And the visual design brilliantly backs up that exact claim. The vehicle isn't just sitting there statically. If you look closely at the subtle angle of the chassis and the dust literally kicking up around the tires, it implies motion. It tells your brain that the vehicle is actively conquering this wild environment right at the exact second the picture was snapped. Just a sense of relentless forward momentum.
Section 3. Built for any terrain. Visual evidence of ruggedness.
There's also a physical promise tucked into the design, built for any terrain. Notice how the designer chose to present this. It's not neatly typed up in some sterile, boring box. It's stamped aggressively over this rough, chaotic white brushstroke. It's slapped on there with raw energy, which directly echoes the dirt and the rocks we see all around it.
Speaking of which, the environment itself is acting as visual proof. The Land Cruiser is planted on jagged, loose rocks. Literally the exact kind of unforgiving surface that absolutely demands serious four-wheel drive. Right behind it, these imposing mountain peaks frame the car in a genuinely wild setting. And even the uneven dirt ground seems to stretch dangerously all the way out to the horizon.
Section 4. The cinematic aesthetic. Framing the rugged reality.
There's a fascinating little detail included here too, a yellow badge explicitly reading 4K Cinematic. By stamping this directly on the artwork, the creators are deliberately framing the advertisement as high-fidelity art. They are basically telling us to view this as a premium visual experience, not just some standard run-of-the-mill car ad. But what does cinematic actually mean in this context? Well, it implies high visual drama and an incredibly polished presentation. What makes it so compelling is the built-in tension. Real off-roading is muddy, it's chaotic, it's messy. But this image gives us a highly polished art-directed version of that ruggedness. It's all the thrill of the wild, completely minus the actual dirt. To pull off that dramatic mood, the artist leans on a few very specific techniques. First, check out that glowing, golden hour sky piercing right through the clouds. It provides this epic, almost mythological backlight. Then, you have deep, moody shadows contrasting heavily with the bright landscape, which creates intense depth. And finally, those brilliant, mirror-like reflections on the black paint. The car reflects the harsh environment perfectly, yet somehow remains impossibly lustrous. When you pull back and put it all together, the gritty text, the harsh terrain, and the pristine vehicle just seamlessly combine into one cohesive narrative.
Between the active stance, the kicked-up dust, and that highly produced 4K cinematic lighting, this Toyota isn't being shown as just a mode of transportation. It is presented as an elite conqueror of nature.
And that leaves us with a pretty provocative thought. Does a true legend, like the Land Cruiser, actually need a hyper-polished 4K presentation to prove its worth, or should the harsh terrain it conquers speak entirely for itself? Next time you see a vehicle ad, really ask yourself what story they're trying to sell you. Thanks for joining me on this explainer.